Carolina on the ride. Carolina on the rise.
And thank you, Panther Nation, for clicking on my video. Sorry, this is Bill Mack here with the Panther Prowl, going into week 2 of the 2018 NFL season of our beloved Carolina Panther fans. Sorry I didn't get a video out there beforehand. I've had a lot going on. There's a lot going on here, but needless to say, I am back putting a preview video out as our Panthers travel down I-95 to Atlanta to take on our division rivals, the Atlanta Falcons. And what a division game, and the importance of it going into this game. Reflecting back to what happened last week, the Carolina Panthers had a win, granted a sloppy win, not quite up to where we're looking for them, but this is still early on in the season. Our Panthers defeated the Dallas Cowboys as the first time they've been able to host an opening day home game in quite a while, and also to their new owner, David Tepper. Since I'd last left you last season, David Tepper, of course, bought the team. He's done a lot of drastic things, loves being involved in the community. He's well liked around with the players. He also actually put had the logo in the middle of the field. Now, I know some may say, well, you know, logos are this, logos are that, but trust me, for a Panther Nation, we've been asking for this for a very long time. For the very longest time, the old owner, Jerry Richardson, had put a shield there to thank them for giving, you know, the Carolinas a NFL team. But now's the time we need to have that logo in the middle of the field, and it looks beautiful, folks. But needless to say, this is a new offense. Cam Newton is now under the offensive core, working with offensive coordinator Norv Turner and his son, who used to be the quarterback coach. Cam has had some dealings with him earlier on in the early in his career beforehand. So out goes Mike Shula, who was the offensive coordinator. Ron Rivera felt that there needed to be a change. Cam was just something about him, he wasn't improving as well as he thought, and they wanted to go ahead and get something new in there. And if anybody can work with a quarterback on his completion, his accuracy, and get him better in the pocket and in passing situations, it would be Norv Turner, as he has worked with the likes of Troy Aikman. He's worked with Phillip Rivers, and now working with Cam. And needless to say, over the course of the preseason, the Panthers, of course, 3-1 in the preseason, he looked pretty good. That offensive line, of course, the offensive line is going to play an important part of this season as well. But needless to say, Cam and the offense has really adjusted to it. It's more geared toward getting the ball to your playmakers, relying less on Cam to really have to do all the running and putting the team on his back, as we know Cam likes to try to do that in his field that need to. So, needless to say, Cowboys, they beat the Cowboys last week, held Ezekiel Elliott below 100 yards, only 15 carries the whole game. They shut down Dak Prescott. 6 sacks from that vaulted defense, that front seven, and as vicious as we have in the NFL. They've done great, and Cam is like I said, Cam's fitting in well. The defense is on stack. We get our secondary in, then we're going. But up now, we're going to bring it up now. We're going to talk about Atlanta. Now, folks, getting into this game, this is an important game. You know, this has been a beat black and blue division the last 5 to 6 years. There's been usually different division winners, and all 4 teams in the division have went to the Super Bowl. It's a black and blue division. They beat up on each other. 3 teams out of the 4 in the NFC South last year made the playoffs. Now, they're not looking in the forecast, of course, for that to happen this year, but where our Panthers are, we're confident they're going to win. We're going to win our division and make the playoffs. This is always a tough thing when you go and face Matt and Ryan. They didn't do so well last week. They opened their season with an 18-12 loss against the Philadelphia Eagles. Low-scoring game. Matty Ice wasn't on that game. Of course, like I said, with Cam and the offense, that from September's usually that first or second game usually also is a part of them getting that rust off and getting into the flow of things. But I look for our Panthers to basically go in there and shut down Matty Ice. Now our secondary has to get a little bit better, with with our team. And with our front seven is not, we don't have to worry about them. They're getting pressure. Like I said last week, Dak had six sacks. He was sacked 6 times. Now we come up and we're going against Matty Ice. Matty Ice is effective in the pocket, getting the ball out. He's got, of course, got one of the top 5 wide receivers in the whole NFL in Julio Jones. He has Mohamed Sanu also as well. And in the backfield, he's got Devontae Freeman and, of course, Tevin Coleman from last year. They didn't do so well in the run game last week. Like I said, it was kind of a debacle. We're going to have to shut that down. With stuff to run, make Matty Ice go to the air, and we have to get pressure. Let our front 7 get pressure. Let our secondary hold on to and try to make sure we can shut Julio down. Julio has had his way with our wide receivers and our not our wide receivers, but our backs in our secondary the last few games that we've played. We wanted to shut him down. Well, and in our last meeting last year, I know we did, he had a very quiet game. I think he had like 69 yards, maybe, if that, because it was very quiet. Don't think he got a touchdown last year. But we're going to have to do that same display because we're going to have to take these division games and win these division games too. And I just look for that to happen. Now, while our offense, like I said, was sputtering a bit, we did have some injuries to report. Luke Kuechly at one point, he was down at one point in the field. He got up. He made it back in. But, of course, we have had a situation here where we've had a problem, and it is with one of Cam's dogs, his security blanket, and that will be, of course, the man, Greg Olsen. Yeah, that is a sad sight to see, Panther Nation, when we look on that sideline and see number 88 in a boot on crutches. Now, this was a tweet that was sent out by Adam Schefter not too long ago. That he states here that Panthers tight end Greg Olsen plans to rest his fractured foot because he ended up fracturing his foot for a few weeks and play the rest of the season. It says that Olsen is optimistic that he can wait until after the season for any surgery. Remember, he signed a 2-year extension before in the offseason and they tried to get him settled in. He was in the game. He got on somebody's foot. They were tripped up while they were trying to go out for coverage, and he ended up fracturing that foot that was hurt from last year. So I was so sad to see that down. He's going to be out for a few months. We don't know exactly when he'll be back. They're going to do it on a month-to-month basis. Also, too, I don't have it with me right now, but Darrell Williams, who was injured, came back. Guess what? He's injured again. He got one of the Dallas Cowboy defenders rolled over on the side of his leg, re-injured it, and from the doctor stating and the Panther staff, he's going to end up having to require to have surgery. Also, out was last week Curtis Samuel. Of course, he had what was termed a medical illness, and he should be back this week. We need him badly, as last week the Panthers needed that speed to have, its next man up or running backs. C-Mac did good between the tackles early on. The speed is there. C.J. Anderson, which is a beast, I think he should get more of the toe with the snaps and carries, because when he showed you how to run through the pocket. That's what we're going to have to do, and that's the thing to do it. But yeah, having Samuel back, Olsen's going to be down. Williams is going to be down. It's just we're going to need Samuel back at this crucial time in this. But yeah, sad to see Olsen out. We don't know how long. He's always been that way for a while. So we get into this game and we refrain and look back at what we want, because I didn't make a season opening video, so I figured I would just say a few remarks here. I hope that our Panthers are able to achieve. We've had a lot of naysayers, even as we do every year, because our Panthers have never been consistent with back-to-back winning seasons. So I'm in good. We're in good shape. A lot of them have got us counted out. We need to establish Cam. It's got to get more accurate. He's got to get his check down passes. Feel like he doesn't have to run the ball all the time, and that the weight of the team is on his shoulders because he has more than enough weapons. Our defense needs to continue being stout. Our secondary needs to continue getting better and improving. That's kind of our Achilles heel right now in the defense, in the backfield is our secondary, but I'm sure they're going to do that. And ultimately, our aim is to win the division. And a lot of teams, a lot of people have picked the Saints or the Falcons, not the Panthers, to win the division. So we're going to have to come out strong to that. And last but not least, before I close out the video here, we're going to come to and discuss the keys to winning this upcoming game. Now, we're going against Matty Ice, as I said earlier. We're going to have to really let our defensive line rush him down. It's going to take rushing the quarterback, putting pressure, knockdowns, putting your hand up, blocks. Matty Ice is very efficient when he's allowed to get that way, when he's not pressured. And last year we weren't. That's where we had problems. Early on was our front four getting pressure to Matty Ice. It seemed like he had enough time to get to the to make his passes and his reads to where he wanted to go. So we're going to have to make sure that front four. Of course, like I said, we got Julius Peppers back. You know, we've got some moving around with our defensive line, but we're still strong. Mario Addison, of course, and Charles Johnson. He retired in the offseason. And whatnot, with second overall on the Panthers list in sacks. We're going to wish him the best. But we're going to have to rush Matty Ice. Like I said, we're going to have to get our front seven in the box, shut down. If we have to put another one in the box, back to shut down the run game. We can't allow Devontae Freeman and Tevin Coleman to do any kind of running. Now, when it comes to the offensive side, Cam's got to be Cam. To just stay in the pocket, and he's doing better with that. He's not just automatically going 1-2 then running. Finding your point, your check down if you can't get your 1 and 2s read out. Also, the offensive line is going to be shuffled around to try to give him more protection this year, which is a big must for Cam. If he stays upright, he's going to be fine. Our running game between C-Mac and CJ. I've got no doubts that we're going to rank back up and running again. I mean, that offensive line created, and C.J. Anderson was running through those tackles. C-Mac's going to do his thing, but I'm looking for C.J. Anderson to have a big year here, and you're hearing that from me first because he was a 1,000-yard rusher, which we signed in the offseason from the Denver Broncos. So look for that, and, you know, making sure our receivers can get some breaks, get downfield, open it up. Samuel's coming back. We're looking at, we're going to lose Olsen. Hopefully Ian Thomas can step it up, our rookie that's supposed to come in. He's going to be playing a lot sooner. Manhurts, he was injured. Now he's activated back again. So we'll see how that goes as Norv is readjusting that. But thanks again for joining me for this video. I appreciate it. Once again, if you like this, Panther Nation, subscribe to my channel. Drop a like on this video. Share it. Hit the bell so you'll get a notification when I'm on. I'll be doing this all season long. And until next time, this is Bill Mack, Panther Prowl, saying, keep pounding.
Carolina on the